My husband divorced me and took full custody of our child. Not shared. Not temporary. Full. He walked out of the courtroom with everything, and I walked out with nothing but silence. I remember standing outside the building, the cold air burning my lungs, trying to understand how my life collapsed in less than an hour. He didn't even look back. At that moment, I thought I had lost everything. What I didn't know was that the real story was only just beginning, and that the choices he made would come back to him in ways neither of us could have imagined. Before the divorce, our life looked ordinary from the outside. A modest home. Shared routines. Weekend plans. Family dinners. Nothing dramatic. But inside the house, things were changing. Conversations grew shorter. Arguments lasted longer. Silence filled the spaces where warmth used to live. I kept telling myself it was just stress, just exhaustion, just a phase. I worked longer hours. I carried more responsibility. I tried harder. And slowly, I stopped recognizing the person I had become, someone constantly apologizing, constantly adjusting, constantly shrinking. Then one night, he said the words that cracked everything open. He wanted out. No counseling. No pause. No attempt to fix what was broken. Just a clean break. The custody battle was brief and brutal. His legal team was prepared. His narrative was polished. His confidence never wavered. I sat there listening as my entire life was reduced to selective details, half-truths, and convenient interpretations. Each sentence felt like another piece of my identity being stripped away. When the judge ruled in his favor, it didn't feel real. It felt like a scene happening to someone else. I remember watching him walk toward our child with a victorious calm, already planning his new life. And I remember thinking, how can someone win so completely and still not understand what the days that followed were quiet? Too quiet. The kind of silence that echoes. The house felt hollow. Every room reminded me of laughter that no longer lived there. Mornings became the hardest. I'd wake up instinctively, ready to start a routine that no longer existed. I tried to stay strong, but grief has a way of sneaking in during the smallest moments, folding laundry, washing dishes, hearing a familiar song. Still, I refused to disappear. I rebuilt my days piece by piece. Work. Therapy. Long walks. Journaling. Learning how to breathe again. Slowly, something shifted inside me. I wasn't just surviving anymore. I was healing. Months passed. Then the messages started. Short at first. Neutral. Polite. Requests turned into complaints. Complaints turned into frustration. He was overwhelmed. Exhausted. Struggling. The routines he once dismissed were now weighing on him. The emotional labor he never noticed was suddenly unavoidable. Schedules. School meetings. Doctor visits. Emotional meltdowns. Sleepless nights. He had wanted control. Now he had it, fully. And it was breaking him. I listened. Quietly. Calmly. Without anger. Without satisfaction. Just awareness. This wasn't revenge. This was reality catching up. One evening he called, his voice strained in a way I'd never heard before. Not defensive. Not confident. Just tired. He said he finally understood what he had taken for granted. The invisible work. The emotional strength. The patience. The constant balancing act. For the first time, he wasn't asking for help. He was admitting failure. And strangely, I felt no triumph. Only clarity. Some lessons can't be taught. They have to be lived. While he struggled, I grew. I rediscovered parts of myself I had buried for years. Confidence. Boundaries. Peace. I rebuilt my home, not as a place of waiting, but as a place of becoming. New habits. New goals. New dreams. For the first time, my life was not shaped around survival, it was shaped around purpose. I stopped defining myself by what I had lost and started defining myself by what I was Biko. 1 year later, the request came. Not a demand. Not a legal move. A conversation. He wanted to reconsider custody. Not because of weakness, but because of honesty. He admitted he hadn't understood what true responsibility meant. He acknowledged the damage his choices had caused. And for the first time, the decision was placed in my hands. This time, I wasn't powerless. This time, I chose clarity, balance, and stability, not revenge. Life didn't suddenly become perfect. Healing never works that way. But it became honest, balanced, real. Co-parenting replaced conflict. Communication replaced silence. Peace replaced resentment. And I learned something I wish I had known earlier. Sometimes losing everything is the only way to find yourself. If you're standing in the middle of heartbreak, feeling like your world has ended, remember this: endings don't destroy you. They strip away illusions. They show you who you are without the noise, without the fear, without the dependency. And sometimes, the very thing that breaks you open becomes the doorway to the life you were always meant to live.